Welcome to the Glory Hallam YouTube channel where we share weekly videos. Earlier this week, I said to Stephanus, does life ever get easier? I'm so tired of challenges. It's almost like it's the one thing after another thing after another thing. And I'm tired. I need a little bit of plain sailing.
And of course, being the great teacher, great man of faith that I am, great victorious overcomer, I said to her. Just being mindful of heaven and everything else, I said to her, life will never be easy. It will never be smooth sailing. There will always be challenges.
Now, how's that for encouragement?
Of course, it's great encouragement. You can know it will be, and that's how it will be. Here's why. Jesus said, it's not my words.
Yes.
Jesus said.
Yes.
John 16:33. The Passion Translation says, and everything I've taught you is so that the peace which is in me will be in you.
Yes.
And will give you great confidence as you rest in me. I'm so glad he started that way, not with the next passage. If he started it the other way around, I'd be like, by the time he got to this part of rest in me, my peace being you, and this is why I taught you, everybody would be so focused on the troubles. Because then he says, once he has said to you what you have received, his peace, he reminds you of what he has taught you, what he's teaching you. And the Holy Spirit of God, the Spirit of God, and the Spirit of wisdom and understanding is engaging with you and now reminding you of the scriptures, reminding you of peace, of resting in him. What comes to mind? The picture of Jesus in the boat.
Yeah.
Fast asleep.
Yes.
I mean, the boat is sinking.
Not a care
The guys
in the
are,
world.
they're using buckets to the water out of the boat to keep afloat, and he's fast asleep in the stern of the boat, not on a double bed, king size, 5-star hotel. I wonder where he was at that time. I wonder where he was. I wonder where his consciousness, what was his consciousness?
Yeah.
His consciousness is, I can't die, I won't die, we will not perish, we're going to the other side. Fully confident in the word that he had spoken. That's the picture that must come to mind for you, my dear. When you need some smooth sailing, just a little bit of a lull. Doesn't mean there aren't times when things are just quiet. It just means life will not be like that. He says, for in this unbelieving world, you will experience trouble and sorrows. But you must be courageous, for I have conquered the world.
Yes.
There's the key.
Yeah.
There's the key. So, you have conquered.
So I've seen this so many times, not only in our own lives, but in any life as well, that you make a decision on grounds that you make a decision that is good for now. And then you start walking in what you see, and then later when things go wrong or there is maybe a challenge,
or not smooth sailing.
Yes, when there is no smooth sailing anymore, then you start questioning yourself. Maybe that was not a good decision.
Yeah.
Maybe I didn't move in the right direction. And we all live with the consequences of our choices.
Yeah. Just in the week, we were listening to a teaching about somebody, a teacher, I'm not going to say who was teaching. And he was just sharing from his own life, and he was sharing something about, and he made this statement that he finds that he handles adversity and troubles much better than prosperity.
Oh, yes.
That is, he's got to be far more careful when he's blessed. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'd like to feel that way. I'd like to come that way where I can say, I'm far more suspicious of myself. I check myself far better. I'm far more careful with myself and my thinking when it's going well and I'm prosperous and blessed, and when adversity and in a storm. But here's why he said it. He said it because in blessing, in times of of peace and prosperity, and it's going well. And you have that little bit of smooth sailing, that period in life where things just seem smooth before the next challenge arrives.
Yes.
Before the next obstacle arrives. Or you reach a point where you're just soaring. That's the time when you've got to be careful that you don't relax and think, oh, I'm okay. I've made it. I'm good. I got this. I understand. My faith, I know. I'll just use my faith. You've got to be careful.
Yes.
Be careful that you stand, that you think you stand, lest you fall. But in times of adversity, in times when you're in the boat, you're calling out to God. You're making time. You're pressing in.
Yeah.
You need to hear from God. Because if you don't hear from God, we're going down. You need to be assured. You need to find that peace. You push into the rest. You're really getting in there. And you're really fixing your mind on things said above.
Yeah.
And then I understood what he was saying. And then I thought, okay, I get it. I still want to get there. But I get it.
We always want the smooth sailing.
And there's not wrong with it. And there's nothing wrong with times of blessing and prosperity. Just watch your walk. Check your heart. Don't become lukewarm then.
Yes.
Don't get so busy that you don't have time anymore for God.
Yes. So I don't know how many of you know this about us, but Stephanus and I went to school together. That was 1986.
85 and 86 for a year and a half.
And we don't have time to share the whole story now. But often we find ourselves wondering and asking, what if we didn't lose contact after our matric year? What if he had read my letters, the ones I sent to him during his military service?
The ones I did not read? Because of what happened? You wonder what happened? we separated after matric. And some 35 years later we find ourselves married.
Yes.
Finally. What should have happened then only happened now in 2021. It should have happened after matric. It could have. It very likely would have. Had there not been certain identity issues and certain things and decisions made. You want to read about it? Read our blog we wrote on our story.
Yes.
You can read all about it. We don't have time to share that now. So often, not that often. I mean, we're getting better at it.
Yes.
But from time to time,
Yes.
we would be thinking, I would be looking at the thinking, I think life would have been easier if we had been married then.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine where we could be. Imagine
Yes.
all the wrong decisions I would not have made.
Yes. But not even that.
Yeah.
That is the way you look at it. But if the way I look at it, then I will say then I would not have been in that relationship. I would not have experienced any trauma or abuse. Because look at him. He's loving. Then I would not have went through that.
But it's over a period of time and some years that I became loving. And as great as she thinks I am, it's because I did not start out there. We don't know. You see.
We don't know. So, and through things we go through, we learn, we mature, and maybe if we did get married soon after matric, we would not have had the same maturity that we have now dealing with things and situations.
You can't go back and do then, knowing what you know now, being who you are now.
You don't know.
Yes, there are some decisions I would not have made then.
Yeah.
Yes, there's some things that would not have happened then. But other decisions would have been made.
Yes.
Other things would have happened. Other challenges, other obstacles. Because life is not plain sailing.
Yes.
Life is not smooth. There are obstacles. There is adversity. It's there to shape us. Yeah. It's there to form us. God uses all those things to bring out Christ in us. To conform us to His image. Yeah. It's needed.
Yes.
It's needed.
Yes.
The old story about pottery that's baked in fire.
Yeah.
Fire. What do you think the clay said? I don't want to go. I don't know. I think if Clay had some feelings, some humanity, Clay would have started a union and started some litigation on suffering. Yeah, it's just one of those things. Fire is needed.
And even if we look back at our lives, the things that we went through separately, we can still witness and testify to the grace of God.
Yeah.
Even in difficult situations, we
Yeah.
can see that God's grace was always there, always present.
Yes. You know,
As we walk through it.
I'm mindful of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Yeah.
You know, had they not stood firm and in their faith, and had their faith not been tested, in that they boldly say, whatever you do, O king, whether you throw us in the fire, whether you don't, God will save us. That was not a fatalistic statement of, if we die, I go to heaven, I'm okay, I can die. I've lost my life long time ago. No, they did not say that. They said, whether you do or do not, whatever you do or do not do, our God will deliver us.
Yes.
So he did. He threw them in the fire. But you realize that they'd never been thrown into the fire, they would never have met Jesus there.
True.
They would never have been in the fire, overcoming in triumph. And Nebuchadnezzar would never have looked into the fire and said, behold, I see a fourth man like the Son of God.
Yeah.
He would never have had that witness of God.
Yes.
And that understanding and that acknowledgement that there is a power greater than me. I am not God after all. Had they not been in the fire, you don't know what the fire will do for you. The fire can be your greatest friend. Can be your greatest ally.
Yeah.
It is. Having said that, how do you live that life? How do you come to that point?
I think the way I live my life is why I behold Yahweh. I engage him, and whatever I go through, I keep my face set like a flint, and I say, Lord, this is difficult. It's not that I can run away from the challenge. The challenge is there. Sometimes we are in the midst of it. But whatever decision I make, and whatever the challenge, I keep my eyes on you. I behold you. I engage you, and we are going through something, or I am going through something, whatever the case. I know that I'm going through this with you.
Yes, those like this.
Yes.
Like this. Focused.
Yeah.
You mean you're focusing, you're looking at him.
Yes.
And when you look at him, what happens inside you when you behold him? What happens to your troubles?
Immediately, the trouble doesn't disappear, or the challenge doesn't disappear.
Yes.
But that is when you have peace in the midst of. And only do what is before me now, for today, focus on that and not on tomorrow or the day thereafter.
Think about David. Goliath didn't become smaller.
Yeah.
Goliath did not become smaller. Goliath did not look less fearsome. Nor did he become, after David said to him, I come against you in the name of the Lord God of Israel. And he said to Saul, God delivered me from the bear and the lion. He will deliver me from this uncircumcised Philistine, this covenantless Philistine.
Yes.
I have a covenant with the Lord.
Yes.
Goliath became smaller in the eyes of David, but not physically smaller. He became vulnerable in the understanding of David, because David said, I go against him in the name of the Lord. The Lord who delivered the bear and the lion into my hands shall surely deliver this uncircumcised Philistine. Yes. Through that confession and his understanding of focusing, beholding the greatness of Yahweh, his God, the God of Israel, his personal God, the one he has experienced victory with. Yeah. Goliath became small. Goliath became vulnerable. Goliath was no longer a giant in the eyes of David. Yes. But to everybody else, Goliath was a giant, a giant of a man. Unbeatable. Yeah. In his own estimation, Goliath felt, I'm going to slaughter you.
I quickly want to add something.
Yes.
Now, the reason for this video is we have to be honest. We sometimes do get discouraged. We too get sometimes, I will say, I'm just tired. I don't think I can handle anymore. But that is why we felt in our hearts to encourage you. Because it's amazing when you feel discouraged and you encourage others, then you actually encourage yourself. And sometimes we, even when Stephanus sits and edits these videos, then he says, yo, this video speaks to me.
It does.
This video ministers to me.
Yeah, it does.
And that is really why we felt we want to encourage you. Any
Yes.
other thoughts? Encouraging thoughts?
I want to leave you with this thought from Isaiah 40. Isaiah 40, verse 31. Very well known. You'll know it. You may not know the reference, but you'll know the verse when I quote it to you. It says, "They who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint." This promises supernatural strength, that like the eagle, we will rise toward heaven and soar. And here's the key. An eagle has big, heavy wings. You don't see an eagle going,
Flapping around.
flapping its wings. An eagle that does that all the time, and too much of it when it flies, can die from the exhaustion because they are big, heavy wings. They stretch out like this.
Yeah, they soar.
That's it. What they do is they wait for a gust of wind, for a current, and then they just throw themselves into the current. They stretch out their wings and they just glide. They soar. So an eagle does not fight a storm. An eagle does not try to go under a storm or hide from a storm. An eagle relishes the storm, likes a storm, because in a storm, in the adversity of a storm, the eagle uses the wind, uses that storm to rise high above and soar above the storm. That's the picture of us as believers. When we are mindful of we've received His peace. Remember everything He taught us so that His peace may be in us, that we may enter into His rest and just soar. Just soar. Just soar. Throw yourself on the current of the Spirit. Throw yourself into the storm and use that storm to mount up and have that picture. See it. See yourself soaring above. Soaring above. Now, I mean, you're not out of this world. You're still in this world, but you're above. Don't make sufferers heroes. Don't make those who survive heroes. Emulate. Look to those who overcome. Look to those who have triumphed. Those are heroes. Don't see yourself as surviving. God doesn't have a survival plan. The gospel is not a survival plan. It's an overcomer plan. It's a victory plan.
And I want to encourage you with Psalm 31 verse 24. So cheer up. Take courage. All you who love Him, wait for Him to break through for you. All you who trust in Him.
So, I trust you are greatly encouraged. And you can take strength from this and know that whatever you are facing, whatever you are going through, you will overcome. And this very adversity, this very difficulty you're facing now is there to shape you, to teach you, to reveal Christ to you, to form Him in you, to greatly, greatly reward you for standing firm, for holding your ground, for lifting up your eyes and soaring like an eagle. You are an overcomer.
Amen.
Never forget that. Till next time.
Shalom.
Shalom.